Hello, guys. Hello. Welcome to this new tutorial about this task that I have encountered like 3 or 4 times, and it has its variations. But the core of this task is for the interviewer to know if you know how to consume an API, if you know how to do fetch to an API. You're gonna be doing, because if you're hired, you're gonna be doing this daily. You're gonna be fetching. In you're gonna get the documentation hopefully from the backend guys, and they're gonna show you the endpoints, and the endpoints have its own rules, their own rules. Sorry. So this is a test for the interviewer to know if you know what the hell is a fetch and how to fetch. Because when you're hired, you're probably not going to be using fetch, but you're gonna be using Axios. Maybe we can do query, uh, a React query video later. But today we're gonna focus on this task that is very it's is fairly common because I got it like 3 4 times, and it has variations. So first of all, what I want to do is to have the Pokemon here. This is what the interviewer is going to give you. He's going to give you this, and this is very how do I put this? This is very alike of what you're gonna get if you get hired. They're gonna give you the documentation for their API, and you are gonna need to understand the endpoints, how to delete, how to post, how to patch, how to get all of that. And if you don't know that, you cannot be hired because you don't know how to interact with the backend. So this is a test for that. So I'm not very familiarized with Pokemon. I don't know why. I saw it as a kid, I think, but never got really hooked on it. Not, I don't know why. Don't hate me because of that. So let's start with use state. Now, another use state. Well, yeah, we can start with the use state. Of course, that's the way to declare use state. Const, remember const. The name is gonna be Pokemon set Pokemon. It's going to be equals to nothing. I'm gonna start with an empty object because I'm not sure yet what I'm gonna get. That's something we're gonna find out. So then we are going to need a useEffect. And remember, a useEffect gets a callback and then a dependency array. In this case it's empty because I want it to run when it mounts once. Okay? And you're going to need an asynchronous function. You can do this, but that is a bad practice. I think in React 19 is not going to be a bad practice anymore, but right now every interviewer sees you doing this and is going to say, this is a bad practice, dude, why are you doing that? So you have to do it inside a function here. So const, let's name it get Pokemon, and it is going to be an arrow function. And this arrow function is going to fetch. I'm gonna console log fetch. Okay, fetch of what? Fetch of this. I just want to know what ditto gives us. Ditto, I don't know. And we go here, we open the console, and the error is the useEffect is not defined. Yeah, we have to import it. Okay, so now console log. Oh, okay, you have to execute get Pokemon, of course, and you have two promises. Fetch returns a promise. Okay, and it's running twice again because it should run once because it just has no dependencies, but the strict mode makes it run twice, so I don't want it for now. And as you can see, now it is just once. So now now that we know this is a promise, I want fetch basically needs two thens or awaits. We're going to talk about await in async on a later video. A lot of promises here, but it's gonna require two thens to deal with the promises that fetch gives us. So then R, and then the R, we want it to be JSON, so that's gonna create another then another promise. So we need to do a then, a concatenate, not a concatenated. This returns a promise, so we use then with the data from promise. We're gonna take it and transform it to JSON, and then that returns a promise, so we need another then, and we should have our information ready here to use. So let's see if I'm right. This should print the, yeah, we have the information of the Ditto Pokemon. This doesn't look very clean, but you can do some cleaning like this and this. Okay, or you can do it like this. Some cleaning. And we have a set Pokemon, so let's set it here. Set Pokemon. Set Pokemon, and let's see if we can just show it in the screen. It says not valid because objects are not, yeah, because it is not valid. What I was expecting is to show something, but in order for it to show something, we will need to do a JSON stringify JSON.stringify and then the Pokemon, and then we get everything. But what I was trying to do is this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take this, copy all of the object, okay? So we have the Pokemon, and I'm going to make it equals to, What? Oh, we're not console login anymore. Well, but well, we have the everything here. Okay, so I'm gonna take all of this. Inspect. It is valid. Yeah, it's valid. So Pokemon equals to this Pokemon dot. Okay, so we can go for what? For species, and then the name. We can do that, right? So one of the interviews was asking me to get a random Pokemon each time. So I guess let's try to do that. There's If there's no documentation for getting a random Pokemon, we can probably check the API looks like without the Pokemon detail. Okay. So now we have detail. Well, not detail. Yeah, we have detail, and apparently we can do this. So if we put this inside curly brackets, braces, whatever, it says the name Ditto. There we have Ditto. See you in the next time. Bye. No, I'm kidding. So, Ditto, we said that it has a name and a URL. So probably the interviewer is going to ask you for an image. So you use an image crc, which is the source, and then close it and just put Pokemon dot species URL. Wait, I thought that the URL was the URL of a species was an image. Oh no, it is just informational, apparently. What happens if we go there? Yeah, it's informational. Too many information about a Pokemon, don't you think? I guess you can do a game with all of this, but I want the image because I remember the interviewer was asking me to randomize the image and the Pokemon. Where is the URL for image? Do you see any? I think this might be OGG's audio, so no. Sprites are images. Okay, so let's do a back default. So Pokemon sprites back default, and that's the image of Ditto. It looks pretty sad, to be honest. So let's give some style to this. The height of the, let's keep it 100 pixels. That's still too low. 300. Okay, so we have the detail, but it is showing the back. So let's front, I want the front shiny. Okay, let's say, let's see. Okay, this is the front. Awesome, great. uh, Front default, I think front default will be better. Yeah, it is. And in order to this to look not that um uh like it is an image inserted like that, let's change the background color of the page to black, and we're gonna use white text. So where is it? Where is the background? Okay, here it is. Background. Okay, background. What if I do background? This one is the one that is doing all of the super gray. So okay, now we have everything black, and Ditto doesn't look like square. So I remember the next step for my interview was to get a random Pokemon each time you click a button. Okay, so I think it was possible by removing this, but let's see. Let's create a button. On click, I want a new Pokemon. Okay, new Pokemon, and the text is going to be get new Pokemon. It is failing because this function doesn't exist anymore. Not anymore. It has never existed. So for now, let's just do an anonymous function that does nothing, so it doesn't fail. Something else is failing. On click, blah blah blah. Inspect. What's failing? Tell me. Cannot read front default. Oh, so now Ditto is not getting us the info we need. That's interesting. Let's see. Ditto should give us the get Pokemon function is not being executed. Why? What's happening here? Ditto. Let's see if we can visit the direct. There it is. So what's happening? Can it be that this is undefined? This is undefined. Yeah. Okay, so this is a bad practice because we are trying to access the attributes of the object that we're fetching before they are available. So what if we add some of this, and what if we check the console? So now the error is name. Oh, okay. Yeah, I need save here. Okay, so the error is very stupid. The error is you cannot access to the info from the fetch before you before you do the useEffect. So what's happening? Well, what's happening was that the useEffect was running. It was setting the Pokemon, but that was being done asynchronously, and immediately this was being rendered. So Pokemon.sprites.front default at some point was null, but if we add this question marks, is like the safe navigation. I don't know if you are from some Ruby people here. The safe navigation is like, okay, give me this, but only if this is not null. Give me this, but only if this is not null. And you are in this way avoiding a lot of mistakes and losing a lot of time, like I am doing right now. So yeah, that's what was happening. It was just a matter of putting some safe navigation. I think it is, I don't know how are they called exactly, but they are null proof question marks. Okay, so get new Pokemon. How are we going to do that? I think, and this is just what I think. Let's see if I search random here. There's no way to. Doesn't have a search. API. Check the docs. Okay. Check the docs. This is what you're gonna get in your job. They're gonna give you the endpoints, and then what is going to be returned and what they are expecting you to send, and that's why this is important for the interview, for getting a job as a front-end developer, because you need to be able to read documentation about an API. Okay, so I want a random Pokemon. There's no random Pokemon, but I don't know why I feel like if I delete Ditto, what if I do a number? Oh, there we go. Okay, so we have a number. But let's see how many Pokemons do we have? Limit. We have how many total. The total. Okay, so I think I'm pretty sure there are 10, right? I'm pretty sure there are 10. So let's do a random around 10. Okay, so we need to generate a random number to have here. I like using what's the name of those? Do you recognize this as a string? These are template strings. Okay, so if we use this, we can use template strings, and then we can add here a random number between 1 and 10. So math random, let me see if I remember this. Math random, it is between 0 and 1. It is between 0 and 1, but I think it actually is gonna give me a number with it's gonna give me a number with a lot of yeah, a lot of decimals. So in order to get the random from 1 to 10, we need to do this random. We need to multiply it by 10. Okay, we need to multiply it by 10, and then we need to run what's the name, we need to round it, so we use math floor of this. Okay, seems to work. So every time we access, we have a new Pokemon. But what is in the screen? We have a button that says get Pokemon. Okay, so this is a perfect opportunity to show how useEffect works. Yeah, so const, I'm gonna create a flag. It's gonna be a new or pocket flag. It's gonna be the pocket flag, set pocket flag use state, and this is gonna be nothing but a flag. Okay, why did I do that? I don't know, brain fart. False. Let's start by false, with false. And we're going to rerun this content here every time the pocket flag changes. Okay, so if it goes from false to true, this executes. If it goes to true, from true to false, this is going to be executed, and so on. And so we can do it right here, just like set pocket flag to the pre-pocket flag. The pre-pocket flag, take the the previous Pocket flag and just make it the contrary, because it's a flag, it's true or false. So the contrary of Prev Pocket flag. So this should be working. Yeah, it is working. Why is it working? Why is it working? It is working because it is working because this is being changed by this. So this is give what's the word of this? Is the contrary, like I just forgot the name of this element here. The is the how the contrary of that. The contrary of Pocket flag. So that's why this is working. Okay, so now we have this. This is the version that I got in some interviews. But let's try to go a little bit further since we are here and try to create a pagination. Should we do that? Do you think that that's useful? No, I think it will. So let's see. In order to get a pagination going, we need to check very we need to check very closely the documentation. So language, no, I want to pagination. Yes. Okay. 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 So remember when we deleted this and it gives us apparently if we remove all, it gives us a Pokemon. If we do that, it gives us the pagination. Okay, great, but I would really like to have the URL for yeah, for the image. Okay, so let's do a pagination. I know this video is super long right now, but the pagination is something that they are going to ask you, or not exactly the pagination in the sense of a table, but they're going to ask you to list Pokemons. Okay, and they are going to ask you to put next and previous page. So let's do that. I don't think it's gonna be that complex. So we have this. Now this is going to be Pokemon. This is going to be Pokemons. Okay, and it's going to be an array, I'm pretty sure. And I want to know what this returns, so let's just do this. So okay, it gives me the count, the next, which is this. Okay, 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 so it gives me the list. The list is in results. Okay, so this is gonna be easier than it looks. We're going to use map, and we need to set the Pokemons to let's use the URL the URL setting or setup that this is suggestion. Okay, see? So offset limit is going to be 20 always, but the offset is going to be changing. So we're gonna need a const page, set page, and we're gonna start with 1. And the offset is going to be page multiplied by 20. Okay, so set Pokemon now is an S. And what do we have here? We don't have anything yet. A message. We don't have anything yet. That's because R, as this is very clear, has the results on results. Now let's use this just to be sure. What I did that because you don't know, right? You don't know if what you're doing is okay. So 1 is not iterable. I agree with that. Then, but I want you to console log Pokemons. Okay. So in the line 10, oh my god, useState, dude, what the hell, these kind of mistakes are very common, especially when you are very used to the autocomplete of AI. I unfortunately I am realizing right now that I'm very used to have the autocomplete. That's why I'm having these kind of errors, but we're gonna get through, I promise you. So Pokemon, we have the Pokemon here. See them? And the link is nothing but information about them. Okay. the link is information about the Pokemon. Yeah, it's information about that, about the Pokemon. So we can fetch twice, maybe. You want us to fetch twice so we can have an image? No, let's just list the names of the Pokemons, because that's what I've been asking the tasks. List them and then paginate them. Okay? So I wanna have this as a reference here. I want to have this as a reference because I want to know how to paginate, because you need a limit to paginate. You know what? You know that? You knew that? Because it has a limit. It is not unlimited. So now let's too much talk. We know now what the Pokemon has. So let's do an ordered list. An order list. And another list. And let's list them. What do we need here, guys? We need the map function. So we have Pokemons. We need to map them. Let's say we have a P of Pokemon. And we need to show the name. So there we have all of the Pokemons in a single element. Why this is happening? Because you need something like this. It should be working, and then we add this, and the list is not needed, this one at least. And now we have the list the way we want it. Now, a tip, a pro tip. No, it's not even pro. Let me get a sip of coffee. It's not even a pro tip. It's just a thing that you have to do every time you use a map. Every time you render. Let me put the camera for this. Every time you render a map, not a map, whatever. Every time you're rendering a iterable value, like an array in this case, you have to assign a key, and that key needs to be unique, because that's what makes React and the virtual DOM to be super fast. The key is what makes it work the way it works. The fast the speed of React depends on that key. In this case, and this iteration is gonna be part of your life if you're a senior, if you're a React developer. So the key needs to be unique. Okay, the key needs to be unique. So what I usually do is to do this key, and then I compose my own key, because you can take the index of the element and put it here, and that will work in this case. In this case, it will work. Apparently we cannot see the key, but the key is here. 0, 1, 2, 3. It is very tempting. It is very tempting to use the I as the key of a map. Don't do that. Don't do that. Why? Because the I is the index of this iteration. What does that mean? That means that this index can be assigned to another element on your application. It can be assigned when I do the, if we leave it like that and I do a next page, now the 0 key is going to be another Pokemon, and we don't want that. Nobody wants a Pokemon with a bad ID, bad key. Okay, actually you learn that from Pokemon. If you watch Pokemon, they told you use a unique key, because nobody wants a Pokemon with the same key as another Pokemon. I saw that episode. It's very useful. So what I usually do is to use the backticks or template strings, and I do this. I use the index. Why not? But I concatenate the name like that. And in this way, we are safe. In this way, we're safe. I don't know if this shows the, no, it doesn't show the key. But in this way, we're safe because it is the index dash the name of the Pokemon. So that's kind of a safe way to do it. Some people use UUID, which is a hash that is unique. That's another approach. I think it consumes some CPU, so I don't use it. But the key here is the key needs to be unique, okay? Always needs to be unique. Please make it a habit of having unique keys, because that's what makes your app being faster than others. So now we want pagination. Okay, so we have the information from here is that the count is this. Okay. So I'm gonna do this because I need more info here from here. I'm going to assign, how do we calculate the number of pages? This can be, it's gonna be a state, of course, for now. Yeah, it's gonna be state page num set, no, sorry, page total, and then set page total. And right now we're going to start with 0, but we're going to set it here. So how do we determine the amount of pages? The amount of pages is going to be set page total or count divided by how many are we showing by page 20. So those are going to be the total amount of pages. Okay, so let's see, I broke something, of course I did. Set total or count, this is set page total. See, again forgetting using the useState. Okay. Console, everything looks fine. Now I want to show the number of pages, and in order to do that, I'm going to do it very straightforward. I'm gonna use a map again. No, we can use what can we use? We can do a for a good old for, and then print here, render the amount of pages. Okay, so right now we are in the page 1. I want to assume. So okay, let's create the span. We're gonna use spans. This is going to be Prev for previous page, but what do we want with pagination? If we are in the page 1, there's no page 0. So if page is more than 1, we want this. Otherwise, no, we don't want it. Okay, so now it is not appearing, as you can see, because we're in page. What the hell happened? What the hell is happening? Okay. Oh no, I had that as a reference, I remember. Yeah, because I wanted to have this as a reference. Okay. So the prep is not going to appear until we go to the next page. So here I'm going to do I'm trying to find the best way to do this. This is probably not the best way to do it. Yeah, I can create an array. Which is gonna be called pages. Yeah, so I can do a const pages. It's going to be, we can just do a for let I equals to 1. I want it to run until or while is minor or equals to the total of pages. Okay, so pages is, what do we have in pages? Okay, so it just is gonna be an array, and then 1 plus plus, then pages push I. Okay, so now pages has pages has page total, but I want this. I want to make sure this runs once we have the value of page total. Okay, so we have a few options here. We can use another use effect, like use effect callback, and page total is going to be our dependency. Now we're using dependencies. Why? Because I want to check that to not be null. Okay, this is one way to do it. This is one way to do it. If page total is more than 0, then do that. This is one way to do it. Okay, so then pages should be, or will need to be, we can set it as a state, which will be the best practice. I hope I don't forget the useState. This is one way to do it. The other way to do it is, okay, we need the const pages, set pages. Okay, use state 0 because we don't know how many we're gonna have. This is one way to do it, and it's a very good way of proving how to use page total. Once this is going to be executed once this, every time this changes. So when you open the page, this is going to be null by default. But once it runs this is not going to be null, and then it's going to execute again and then run this. Okay, and as this is a state, this wouldn't be, this is not going to be pages.push. You will need to do set pages and then Prev pages and then Prev pages push I. Okay, so this is going to be doing it. This is going to be doing it, and something is missing here. I am doing something wrong, of course. Push is not a function of Prev pages. Yeah, because it doesn't identify it as a as an array. So we can do Prev pages, and then we can add our I here. And then I wanna 30, what is 30? I want console log page total to see 65. So this approach worked using the useEffect. Did you see? But I am realizing that this whole logic can just go where we defined the number of pages. But this was a very good moment to understand the use of dependencies of useEffect. So here we already know that we have the R, which has, what is this? Which has the information from this. So we can do the set pages, and we're gonna have 65 pages. Okay, 65 pages. So how are we going to show the 65 pages? I think there are a lot, but are going to be spans. Why not? Map. That's why I wanted it to be an array, because I'm gonna iterate the pages dot map p of page, then span, and then p. Pages is not a function. Pages dot map is not a function because I'm forgetting my mistakes. It's not a function at app. It is not pages, or is it? It is pages. Pages. What? Console log pages. What do we have in pages? 0. Why? Why is that? Okay, so let this one page total. Do we already have page total? Oh, no, because this is asynchronous. So page total is not page total yet. It's asynchronous, so we need to do this here. Okay, that was one. The other one is that this is let's do a console. Okay, in order, we need this to run. Okay, I'm realizing we have multiple errors. So doing a set state inside a loop is not very recommended. So I need to create temp pages equals to temp pages push I, and then we set pages to temp pages. So now we have 1, 2, 3 and such. The problem was that set state here is not recommended because it's an asynchronous task, and remember, every time you change a state it re-renders. So imagine what was happening. It was a mess. So this fixes the mess. I think I have something to fix with the page. Page right now is 1, right? 1. So page times 20 is going to be 1 times 20 is 20. Okay, yeah, that seems about right. 20. Oh, but this is telling me that the next one, this is the next one, this is the next page. So we need here the page 0. So the next one is going to be page 1, which is going to be 20 to 40 and such. And yep, now that we have the now that we have the list of pages, which looks awful, looks pretty awful, but let's give them a little bit of like space or something. Span. Oh no, wait, we had we had here before we had here the map page and we're going to show it like span. Let's see what that does. Span, it is failing because okay, this is empty, and we have the closing span here, and we need the closing span here, and this we don't need this. So now we have p because we need it inside the curly thingies. Now I am gonna put all of them. First of all, a little comma and space, okay? So now we don't have the mess that we had before. And then we are gonna add the next page. We're gonna use the same logic as the Prev. but we need it to be less. The page needs to be less than total pages, or page total. So this is next, and now we need to give them functions. We need to give them yeah, functions on clicks and such. So this is gonna be relatively easy because we can just do this. This we can ask this to do it every time the page changes. So it is going to go here and do all of this again and get Pokemon, but for the new page. So we can do here on click, we're going to do an anonymous function. I want to set page to Prev page. I can do this. I can do just like page -1, but it is a good practice to have a callback inside the editors, because you're gonna get in trouble with closures and some other topics. Closures is a good one. We can have a video about that, but okay. Yeah, I always recommend using the Prev page, and then this is gonna be Prev page -1, and it is failing because it is a function that needs to be inside the curly. Then we can copy the on click logic for the Prev and put it on the next. You have my permission, and this is gonna be just 1. Go. We can go style and then pointer, and then no, sorry, cursor, cursor pointer. That's gonna create that's gonna create the pointer for my. Why is not a pointer? Why is not a pointer? Cursor pointer. Is it another thing? Is it? No, it's pointer. I think because of I'm recording the screen, it doesn't look like a pointer, but the pointer is for like links and such. Yeah, no, it never gets like a pointer, but it should be a pointer. The mouse, I'm referring to the mouse. Same with the Prev. Same with all of them, actually, with all of the elements here. They all should be pointers. Prev needs some space. Okay. And I want a header or some kind of indicator of the page of Pokemons. Page 4. This is the page 4. Okay. So if we click on next, it should go to the 5 page. And we have Charizard and this one and this one. And then next we have Squirrel. And then next we have another one, and then another one, and then another one, and then another one, and then another one, another one. And if we go to, we can click this, but we don't have a on click for those pages. So let's do it. Let's add an on click, and we can do it just like copying and pasting on click on the page number. And guess what we're gonna set to P, because it's the page that I want. So now if we go to 32, it goes to page 32, 63, 39. We can at least have like like here we can at least have like font weight, because we're gonna make it bold if it's selected. So if it's if P equals page, we're gonna say that this is font weight, I think is bold, otherwise no. Well, not null. We have to set it to something. I think we can do on set. So when we click on it, it doesn't look like a lot, but yeah, it changes. It gets bold, right? It gets bold, and I think I can specify the like that, so it kind of stands out more. See how we are having a pagination, and we get, when we get to 65, when we get to 65, remember there was 65.1, so that's why we are getting to the page 66. So we can fix that by just adding we can add a page if the page has we can push one more page if the page, if this calculation has some reminder. Remember that term? So if this, where is it? If this percentage 0, we don't do anything. But if it is not 0, that means that there's a reminder, so there's one page left. So 10 pages push, we're gonna push 10 pages, we're gonna push the 10 pages, the last one. And how do we get the last one? By saying 10 pages dot length -1. Okay, so now we have a page 65, and 10 pages plus 1. Plus 1 because it's the last one is 65, and we have a reminder. So we have more than 65. We have 65.1. So there's another page, the last page, which is this one, the 65 page. And as you can see, when you are in a 65 page, we don't see the next, but when you are on in 66, you don't see the next, but in 65 you see it. And you can go next, and you can go back, next, back. So we have the pagination. We have the pagination working. We have all of the pages showing. Also, we can like show a window, like a window of pages by doing a slice. So we don't see all of the pages. We can just do pages and then slice 10. Let's see what happens with that. We see from 10. Okay, no, I want from 10 to 20. Yeah, that's gonna work just for 10 to 20. But we want this to be multiplied by the page as well as this one. No, you know what? I'm thinking this wrong. We're in the page, and we want the page plus 10. And in that way we're showing only the page and 10 more. Okay, and we need to add one here or remove one so we can show the page one. So okay, now we have the page one. Next, 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 next. Okay, so it seems like it's working, but we actually have we actually want the we actually want the page the selected page in the middle or something like that. I mean, this works. This is functional. But if you want it in the middle, you will need to do some crazy math here, like I can imagine doing, well, you will have to you will have to control the limit, the upper limit and the lower limit, and then you show the page in the middle. But for now, this is functional, and your interviewer is going to be pretty satisfied because not only you're paginating, but you are using some kind of math to get this. And let's recapitulate. The set pages has to be outside the loop, okay? Because every time the state changes, the component re-renders, and that's a mess. I created a temp pages array for the pages and pushed the I. Okay. Then I calculated if there's a reminder page, and if it's not equals to 0, we need to add one more page to that pagination, because it's more than 65, it's 66 actually. We created the previous, the go back, the go prev, go next, and go to each, and then we sliced it to show only 10 out of all of them. So I'm pretty sure we can spend a little bit more, like a little bit more time making sure that the Prev is not the first one, but the one in the middle. But if we do that, we're gonna have to make some math decisions when we get to the first one. So see what I'm saying? It's not worth it to the exercise. The point is that you know how to get the fetch, you know how to calculate how many pages you need, you know how to calculate the offset, starting from where? From the page minus 0, ways minus 0, minus 1. Page minus 1. I wonder now if I have the page. Okay, what happened here? What happened here? Page minus 1. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, because the multiplication happens. The multiplication happens one. Remember the order of multiplications, the order of operations is the without the parentheses it was 1 times 20 and then page minus 20, so it was a mess, so we need to add the parentheses. See, this is no BS code, this is no BS. You're seeing my errors, I'm explaining my errors, I'm fixing my errors, and now you can see them. So I think this is all for today. I hope you like it. Please leave a like, leave leave a like and a comment. I'm very aware of the comments. I'm gonna read them. I'm gonna answer them. I'm gonna reply to them. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to post your questions. And I hope this helps you. It's important for it is not going to be like a Pokemon all the time, but it's important to you to recognize where do you can get the amount of pages, sorry, the amount of articles, the amount of elements, so you can calculate how many pages, because you want to show 20 in this case, that you have to divide this by this, and then the remainder, if there is a remainder, you add an extra page. So that's the important thing. You have to be able to check, you have to be able to identify where do you get the amount, the total amount of elements, so you can determine the amount of pages and then do the logic for getting the pages. Right now, we were lucky, and we just needed to add the page and it loads the new page. But it is possible that you will need to create some function that gets the new page probably. But in this case, all of this works. I really hope this helps you getting your job, or completing the task. I did it first with the random, getting the random Pokemon, and then I did it with the pagination, which is, I think, the highest, the hardest type of this task. Actually, no, the hardest will be to get the image for each Pokemon. So you will need to do some magic here, like another function that gets the image of from each Pokemon. We can do it now. I'm tempting to do it, but it's gonna mess with our with with our design, and it is beautiful. Can you see this beautiful? So yeah. Okay, that's it for today. I hope you like it. Please like and subscribe and comment, and if you don't like it, just dislike and comment you are dumb and you don't deserve to be on screen. And that's it. Thanks so much. Bye.